Withers. And the other one I thought I would try is Return to Sender by, well, it was made famous by Elvis. It's not by him. Two gentlemen named Otis Blackwell and Winfield Scott wrote it. And in case if you're trying to learn these songs, I got the sheet music I'm looking at from musicnotes.com in case you need a place to get it. I'm not sponsored by them. I just really like that site. It makes it easy because I like to display the sheet music so that I can use my foot pedal. Um, I think I'll start with the Wither song first. One second. Let me get there. The fun thing about making these videos and picking songs for them is so far, a lot of the songs that I like and are my longtime favorites, I remember hearing these songs on the radio many times. The chords that show up for these songs are actually very basic. That's fun to see. So, if you're someone that's just starting out with guitar, I'll try to remember to point out, which of these. So, if you're skimming through any of these videos I make, I'll try and mention which ones are easier chords, and I try and pick ones that are. And this is another good example of that. There's very few chords in this song, and they're all very standard basic chords. So I'll go through them before I try and do a playthrough. So the first chord that shows up is A minor 7. By the way, I'm left-handed, so if you're right-handed and trying to follow along, just mirror whatever I'm doing. So for the A minor 7, hopefully you know the A is right here, right? It would be on the second fret, the the next to the bottom string, and the two strings above that, and you would use your three fingers. And then A minor is almost that. It's just that bottom of those three fingers strings. You move it up to the first fret, right? That's the only difference really between a A and A minor. So for an A minor, just to be clear, you're going to take your index finger on the first fret, second string from the bottom, and then your second and third fingers are going to go on the second fret, the two strings above that one. That's the easiest way I know how to say it. Sorry, I'm left-handed. I'll figure out that's a little better. I'm trying to figure out a camera angle where you can see where I'm putting everything. So hopefully it makes sense. So index finger on the first fret, and then the next two fingers above that on the two strings above that, but on the second fret. But that's A minor. We want A minor 7. So all you have to do once you have A minor is pick up your ring finger and keep everything else where it was. And you now have an A minor 7. And then play every string except the top one. The next to the top string is an A string, so that gives us our A bass note, so A minor 7. The next chord that shows up is E minor. It's a similar story. So if we were going to play a standard E, we would start by putting our index finger on the first fret, fourth string from the top, or third string from the bottom, whichever way is easier for you to think. Fourth string from the top, and then you're going to put your second and third fingers on the second fret again, right above there. So it's the same exact shape that we just saw for A minor. It's just it's moved up. And then the thing that makes it so that's a standard E, but we want E minor. So the thing that makes it the E minor is all you're going to have to do is pick up your index finger and keep the other two where they were. And that turns a standard E into a E minor chord. And then on this one, you're going to play every string because the top string is an E open. So that gives you your bass E note for it. And then you play everything. So then I'll just mention when chords repeat. I won't do them again. So then it repeats A minor 7, E minor, A minor 7. Now here they're going to do E minor 7, which is slightly different. So we saw E minor. To make it an E minor 7, and I won't go through that first part again, we just saw that. All you're going to do is take the E minor And you can either use your pinky, which is what I recommend, and you're going to grab the next to the bottom string on the third fret. And again, you're going to play everything open. If you play them back to back, you can kind of hear the difference. So E minor 7, it's just a slightly higher tone. You could move your fingers, but the reason I recommend trying to use your pinky is then a lot of songs do that. It'll alternate between like E minor and E minor 7, and if you use your pinky, you don't have to move your other fingers. So that helps time-wise. The next chord that shows up is D minor 7. So that's going to be, you're going to start on the first fret, the bottom two strings with your index finger. And then on the second fret, third string from the bottom. So right above the last one that you fretted. I'm sorry, I think I misspoke. Yeah, no, I said it right. Second fret, third string from the bottom. I said it right. And then you're going to start with the open D string, which is the third string from the top, and that gives you your bass note. And you're going to leave out the two strings above that. And that's a D minor 7. I won't go through the, how to go from D to D minor 7 on that because it doesn't quite, it does translate, but not as directly as the others. So hopefully I made the point on the first two, and I'll let you think through how to go from D to D minor 7. But that's what a D minor 7 looks like. Plus, these minor chords are so standard, they show up a lot. So it's good to just remember them as they are. But it's nice to understand that there's a connection, right? Then you see A minor 7, you see E minor, you see A minor 7, you see A minor right after the A minor 7. Just like I mentioned, some songs will play two versions of a chord like that back to back. So it's good to use fingers for the fretting of the different parts in a way that you can quickly alternate. So A minor 7, A minor, E minor 7, A minor, E minor 7. Sorry, I forgot to, if I don't click, it won't work my foot pedal. Yeah, see, we're just getting repeating. This is actually a nice song for a beginner because I'm surprised that there's just a few chords on it. A minor, E minor 7, A minor, E minor 7. Now halfway down the, oh, well, technically A minor is a new chord, but I already covered it, right? I showed how we start with that. So I should have mentioned A minor starts to show up, but we already covered it, right? So I won't go back through it again, but I'll just point out that it just now started showing up. I should have pointed that out. Earlier, it was A minor 7. Now I'm seeing A minor. Yeah, so it's interesting. This entire song has just a few chords that should be easy if you're just getting started, thankfully. So this would be a nice one to start with. At the very end of this song, they have a A minor 9. It's a little hard to make out, but I'll try. It's the way they've written it. My eyes aren't that great, but it looks like they're doing this. It looks like they're showing barring the top, starting on the 5th fret, I should say. Starting on the 5th fret, use your index finger to bar most of it. And then on the 7th fret, use your pinky to grab the bottom string and then play everything. That doesn't sound quite right. I'll have to work on that one. But it's at the very end of the song on when they're fading out. So you could just, the chord right in front of that's E minor 7. So you could just stop there if you can't get that one to work for you. I think that's all the chords. Let me try and go through it once real quick. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. It's not warm when she's away. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. And she's always gone too. Anytime she goes away. wonder this time where she's gone. Wonder if she's gone to stay. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone, and this house just ain't no time she goes away. Hey, now you done been alone. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Only darkness every day. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone, and this house just ain't no home anytime she goes away. Yeah, we got them. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. I'll have to work on that ending. Yeah, I haven't listened to that in a while, but that used to be one of my favorites. Now, the next one is Return to Sender. Let's see. This one's easy too, because it again just has basic chords. Starts off with a C. If you're brand new, that's index finger on the next to the bottom string on the first fret, ring finger on the third fret next to the top, and then second finger on the second fret, third string from the top. Leave out the top string. The next one's A minor, which we just saw, so I won't cover that one again. We just saw D minor 7. A new one, but an easy one is G7. So first fret, bottom string, third fret, top string, second fret next to the top string. And I use my index finger, my ring finger, and my second finger in the order that I mentioned them. And then we play everything. Then back to C, back to A minor. This is a new one we haven't seen, D minor. So instead of D minor 7, this is D minor. So this time, an easy way to do this one is put your ring finger on the next to the bottom string on the third fret. Put your index finger on the first string on the first fret, and then put your second finger on the second fret, third string from the bottom, or just above the string that your ring finger's on, and then leave out the top two strings, but start at the top open D. Then we have G7 again. We have C again. We have A minor again. D minor again. G7 again. C. Now we have F. So F, similar to D minor 7, you grab the first two strings at the bottom of the first fret, and then on the second fret, use your second finger to grab the third string from the bottom, or the one right above the one that you've already grabbed on the first fret, and then using your ring finger or pinky. I tend to use my ring finger. Grab the string right above the last one you grabbed, but on the third fret or third string from the top, which would be the F. And then you leave out the top two strings. G7 again. The F that we just saw. G7. F again. G7. Sorry, I always forget to click or it won't let me use my foot pedal. Nope, I made a mistake. Let's see, let me try again. Yeah. Okay, F, G7. Okay, here's a new one, C7. So we saw C. The only difference between C and C7 is if you start with the C and then you take your pinky and add it on the third fret, fourth string from the top, two strings down below the one that your ring finger's on, and then strum the same strings you would normally strum for the C. That makes it a C7. Okay, several Fs and G7s. Okay, here's a new one, D7. So the interesting thing is we can do a similar thing we saw before. So this is a D. If it was a D, you would use your second finger to grab the bottom string on the second fret. You'd use your index finger to grab the third string from the bottom, and you'd use your ring finger on the third fret to grab the second string from the bottom. So that would be a D. To make it a D7, all you're going to do is move the fretting of this note on the second string up to the very first fret. But you'll probably want to change what fingers you use. So I'm going to change it. So now I'm going to keep grabbing these two strings I had before, but I'm going to use my second and third fingers or ring finger. And then I'm going to use my index finger on the next to the bottom string on the first fret. And I'm going to include the open D string, and leave out the top two strings. And that makes it a D7, and hopefully that helps you see how it's connected to a standard D. G7, C7, F, C, D, F. I'm sorry, D7. I'm getting Fs and 7s. Yeah, so that's it. This song's another one that just has some basic chords, and it has it's a little faster tempo, but I may have to play it slow because this is my first time doing it, but I'll try and go through it once. I gave my letter to the postman. He put it in his sack. Bright and early next morning, he gave my letter back. She wrote upon it, return to sender, address unknown, no such number, no such zone. We had a quarrel, a lover's spat. I write, I'm sorry, but my letter keeps coming back. So I dropped it in the mailbox. It's in a special deed. Bright and early next morning, it came right back to me. She wrote upon return to sender, address unknown, no such number, no such zone. This time I'm gonna take it myself and put it right in her hand. And if it comes back the very next day, then I'll understand the writing on return to sender, address unknown. No such number, no such zone. Then it has a little ending there that I'll pick up and learn that next time. That's most of it, though. Well, I hope you found these helpful, and if you're starting out and just getting started, these would be 2 great ones to try. They have fun tempos, and, the chords are very easy, and, so I hope you enjoy this. Thank you.